Hi everyone, it's me, Spring, the fiber enthusiast, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be making this crochet washcloth slash dishcloth. Depending on what you're looking for will depend on which direction you go with it. But I'm going to show you how I made it like this, and I'm going to talk about how to make it without the scrubby yarn and what you will need to do differently. So let's go ahead and get into the items that you will need to make this. You will need some cotton worsted weight yarn. Now for this, I used Premier Home Cotton in Wine Splash, which looks like a denim to me. For this one, I used Peaches and Cream Yellow, and for both, I used the Scrubby Sparkle. Now, you don't have to use the Scrubby Sparkle. You can use regular Scrubby yarn. You do not have to use Scrubby yarn at all. This Sparkle, it's kind of like eyelash yarn in a way. So I liked it. I had some white as well. Let's go ahead and make a washcloth. So, or dishcloth, with it being scrubby, you could use it either way. If you do use this on your skin, it will be abrasive. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and get started here. You'll need a crochet hook. I'm using a 5.5 hook for this. Now, for this, I used a 5mm crochet hook, and it claims that it's a worsted weight as well. This is the Little Dollops, and it is on the lighter side of worsted. It is very thin for a worsted weight, but this does not have any sparkle scrubby at all, and you can see there's quite the size difference. So therefore, you would have to increase the amount of rounds that you do somewhere to create a bigger washcloth. Now, if you're using the scrubby like we're going to do here in the tutorial, great. You'll need a pair of scissors, a darning needle, and a stitch marker of sorts. And we will go ahead and get started. Now, you can use a magic ring if you so choose. I will not be. I will chain 4 and connect in the round. All right, so holding both together, both strands of yarn together. Get everything situated here. I'm going to place a slip knot on my hook and chain 4. Now into that magic loop, you're going to place 12 double crochets, and the same thing with this chain 4 ring that we're making. Slip stitch to the first chain. I grab it like this to hold it open, and now we're ready to begin. Now, for those of you that are new and don't know, I use what's called a mock double crochet. I'm going to show you on this first stitch how to do that. After that, it's up to you whether you want to just continue with a chain 2 or 3 for your first double crochet, or you want to do the mock double crochet. So for the mock double crochet, you're going to pull up to the height of a double crochet. Place your finger on that loop. That loop is the top of your stitch. You're going to hold it so that way it can slide to the hook or to the handle, but it does not slip around your hook. Now we're going to take that hook and we're going to bring it towards us, down and under. That gives us the appearance of 2 loops on our hook. We're going to bring that hook around and go into that ring, yarn over, and pull up a loop. That gives us the appearance of 3 loops on our hook. Now you're going to yarn over and go through 2, yarn over and go through the last 2. Now you will notice the top of that particular loop you were holding created what appears to be the top of a double crochet. Place your stitch marker into the top of that stitch. Now we're going to continue to work over our tail and work a total of 11 more double crochets for a total of 12 double crochets into this ring. When you've reached your 12th, you will slip stitch where your stitch marker is to your very first stitch, whether it's the top of your chain or it's a mock double crochet. All right, I'm going to go ahead and continue around with my 12 double crochets. All right, now let's turn this circle into a square. We're going to chain 1 and single crochet into the very same stitch we slip stitched to, replacing our stitch marker. That is the beginning of your repeat. We are going to repeat this a total of 4 times. All right, into your next stitch, you're going to place a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. And then reach down and single crochet to your very next stitch. That is the repeat. You will repeat that 3 more times. Once again, single crochet to your next stitch, and then all of the following into the next stitch. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. Then reach down and single crochet into the next stitch. Repeat that 2 more times and I'll meet back up with you at the end and we will slip stitch to the very first stitch. All right, once you have slip stitched to your very first single crochet, you have created a square out of that circle. Now we're going to work our first double crochet round, and then after that we'll be doing front post, back post for a couple rounds. So the object is to get 7 double crochets in between your corners, and that includes the double crochet from each side of that corner. So what we're going to do here is we're going to slip stitch from where we're at all the way over here to the center double crochet of that group of 3. So we're going to slip stitch over to the next stitch, to the chain 1 space, and into that 3rd double crochet. All right, so now we're going to start and create our first corner. That corner will be the last stitch of your last row and the first stitch of your first row. So we're going to mock double crochet, and again, it is up to you. Go ahead and chain if you need to chain. Mock double crochet. I'm going to replace my stitch marker, and then I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, and back into that same stitch, I'm putting my first double crochet for this first row. So that is our corner on every corner. So that is 1. Now, when you look at your stitches here, we need to get 7 in here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You skipping over the top of a chain 1. So we need to go into this next chain 1, And you can go into the space or the stitch, up to you. And we're going to place a double crochet. So that makes 2. Go into the next one is 3, 4, 5, 6, and now we're going to skip this chain 1 space and jump straight into that center double crochet and place a double crochet. You do have to skip a chain 1. Now you can skip the first chain 1 or the last one like we just did. It doesn't matter as long as you do it every single side. All right, so there is our 7 double crochets for the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we need to make our corner by chaining 2, 1, 2, and begin our next side, 7 double crochets, starting here in the same stitch with our first one. That's 1, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to jump over the next chain 1 and go straight into that center double crochet and get our 7th stitch. So you will need to continue the next 2 sides, 7 stitches, 7 double crochets on each side. That includes 1 from each of your corner sections. All right, when I get back over here, I'll meet up with you where we slip stitch to our very first stitch made. All right, let's go ahead and begin round 3 by slip stitching over into the chain 2 space. So we slip stitch to end the round to our first double crochet, and now we're going to slip stitch into the chain 2 space. Now we're going to create another corner. You can either do your chain or your double crochet, mock double crochet, whichever suits you best. Replace your stitch marker. There we go. And chain 2 and double crochet back into that chain 2 space. All right, now we're going to front post, back post to our next chain 2 space. So in the corner, you should have a front post on both sides of your corner. So front post, back post the next one, and you're going to repeat this all the way to the corner. When you get to the last stitch of the row, it should be a front post, which is the stitch of the corner, the first stitch of that corner. And now we're going to create a corner. Double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, all into the chain 2 space. And then repeat. Starting with a front post and ending with a front post. You will go ahead and continue that, repeat all the way around for the next 3 sides. I will meet up with you where we slip stitch to the top of our very first stitch. All right, once you have slip stitch to end the round, we're going to slip stitch into the chain 2 space and repeat. Mock double crochet, replace your stitch marker, chain 2, and double crochet all into that chain 2 space. And then begin with a front post, double crochet, and end with a front post, double crochet. You will notice that it is the opposite as we go of what the row was prior. So we're going to front post double crochet the first stitch. This next one was a front post, but now it's going to be a back post. Front post the next one, which was a back post. So now we're going to pop it to the front and front post. We're going to continue on. Same repeat. Back post, front post, back post, front post, back post, and now we're at the last stitch here, and it is a front post. Then we make our corner into the chain 2 space, double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet. Now you're going to repeat that for the remaining 3 sides, and I will meet back up with you where we slip stitch to the first stitch of this round. Now once you get done with that, you might want to give your square a little stretch and pull those stitches into place, especially if you are using a scrubby yarn. You might want to just adjust those stitches a little bit and work them so that way your square is square, because they do get a little scrunched together as you work. So I'm going to finish the remaining 3 sides. I'll meet back up with you when we slip stitch to the first stitch of the round, and we will finish our last 2 rounds without scrubby yarn. All right, now that you are down here to the end, what we're going to do is cut away from our fancy scrubby yarn here and only work with the cotton by itself. And I am going to go work over the top of my tail here. So what we're going to do is slip stitch into the chain 2 space. And we're just going to do single crochet round. So chain 1 and single crochet back into that same space. I'm going to pop my stitch marker in there. Now we need to place 2 more single crochets into that same chain 2 space. So each corner gets 3 single crochets. Then you're going to work 1 single crochet on every stitch across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, so go ahead and work your 11 single crochets. Now, if you wanted to make this bigger and you did not use scrubby yarn, you could absolutely continue what we were just doing and then work a couple single crochet rounds, or you could just totally work single crochet rounds until it is the size that you want, and that way you have the inside scrubby and then however big outside not scrubby. So I'm just going to work my single crochets all the way over to the next corner. And in that corner, I will be placing 3 single crochets. To make my corner here. And you may want to leave your stitches a little looser than normal. You may want to even grab a hook size larger if you have to. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And into the corner once again, 1, 2, and 3 single crochets to make that corner. So we're going to complete the next 3 sides exactly the same way. 11 single crochets, 3 into the corner, and repeat. I'll meet up with you at the end where we slip stitch to our first stitch, and then we will do our last and final row. All right, last row, we're going to slip stitch over to that center single crochet. And we're going to place 3 single crochets into that stitch. So chain 1 and single crochet 1. I'm going to replace my stitch marker so I know that that is the end of this round. All right, there is 1, 2, and 3. And now you're just going to simply place 1 single crochet into the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 stitches. And in the 15th stitch, you will place 3 single crochets. Now, of course, if you made this bigger in any way, it will be different for you. But if you're following along with me, you will need to place 1 single crochet into 14 stitches, which brings you all the way to the center single crochet of those 3 in the corner. And in that 15th stitch, you will place 3 single crochets to complete that corner. And you will continue on all the way around for the next 3 sides. And when you get to the end, you will slip stitch to your first stitch here and fasten off and sew in your ends, and you will be done. I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial, and if you make this, I would love to see it. You can share it in the Facebook group. You can send a picture of it to me in a private email if you so choose, and let me know if I can share it in the show and tell on the Sunday or Saturday podcast. So thank you very much. Be blessed, be a blessing, and until next time, bye for now.